Hey, hey, everybody. Happy Hump Day. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wealth Wednesday for those of you entrepreneurs out there. So I'm sorry, I'm a few minutes late. If you guys can hear a little buzzing in the background, it's this darn light. I cannot figure out this light, why it's making this like weird humming noise. Anyway, I digress. And I also, another reason why I was late, those little filters that you can put on here are addicting. And I'm not gonna lie, I was trying to decide which filter that I was gonna put on myself. And then I thought, nah, let's just get right to it. Hey, Rachel. So if you're just tuning in, if you're joining me live, drop a 1 or write live in the comments. I'd love to give you a shout out. If you're here with me on the replay, I'm gonna give you some replay love. Drop a replay if you're watching this on the replay. And if you're new to my broadcast or my page, drop a new, and I'd love to introduce myself later to you one-on-one and say hello. All right, so we are here tonight because, hey Matthew, hey Alicia, hey guys, okay, say hey, and I'll give you a shout out. So tonight I'm really fired up, okay? So this morning, one of my mentors, totally admire and respect him, is Mr. Ray Higdon, and he did a training this morning. And I'm always personal development, growing myself personally, professionally, yada, yada, yada. Hey Sue. And so his training this morning really inspired me to do this. And it's something that I have been thinking about sharing with you all. And hey Chris, say hello, hey Shannon. Okay, so it's something I've been wanting to share with everybody for a long time, and I was, all over the place, scatterbrained. So if you see me glance over, I did write some notes, but this is like got me real heated, real fired up, and it's all good stuff, okay? So first, let me back, if you notice I gave a little announcement half an hour ago to let you know I was gonna go live. I'm going to start with the last point of that, which is something that you don't know about me. So, all right, like where do I begin? Entrepreneurial spirit and drive has been in my blood for God as long as I can remember. So how many of you put a little drink emoji or a lemon emoji if you were the kid who sold lemonade on the corner of your street when you were a kid, right? Or you did something like water, lemonade, a car wash, you did something like that. I was the kid that did all of that, and I kind of bossed my little brother around to be my little employee half of the time. Hey, Jess. The other thing, so that was probably what, when you're young, you're like 6, 7, 8, okay? When I was 8, 9, 10, I then went on to bigger and better things. And I would hit up AC Moore, Michael's, all the craft stores. I would craft pretty much anything I could get my hands on, and then I would go try and sell it. So at that time, this is way before the whole internet age, at least I don't know if it was or not, but I was too little to use it anyway. So 8, 9, 10, 11, I would go over to my swim club, I would put a little stand together, I would bead up these keychains, I would make yarn bracelets, I would do it all, and I would sell that for a grand total of like $2.50. And if I was feeling a little scandalous, I might charge $5. And that was fun, and I had a good time doing it, and it made me have some sense of, I don't know, achievement at a young age. So I always had this in me. Then fast forward years down the road, then I have a graphic design background. So I decided to start a little freelance design, self-design business on the side when I was in school and college, and then after college, and I kept doing that. And it was great and all, but, got a little bored of it, got a little sick of it, a little overworked, a little underpaid type of thing like that. Then I had my son, right? So now we're going back almost 6.5 years ago. I was planning his first birthday. I got really into cake pops, okay? So for those of you, some of you watching might have been a customer of mine. I had a small business that I called Sweet Details. And hey, Michelle, hey, Brian, say hello and I'll give you a shout out. I had a small business, Sweet Details. I had a website. I did it all out of my home at the time. So at this point in my life, I was married. I had a 1-year-old, and things were going really good. I had an Etsy shop. I had my website, like I said, and I was getting busy. And these cake pops, by the way, were not like what you see at Starbucks. These were like the real deal cake pops. These were the fancy schmancy cake pops that you would buy like gourmet style, like $8 a pop. I mean, I didn't charge that, but that's probably what they should have been charged for. So again, the numbers have never been a strong suit of mine. Did I profit? Yes. Profit greatly? No. Reason being, I was the manager, I was the marketer, I was the baker, I was the owner, okay? Everything was on me. Hey April, hey Alexa. So everything was on me, and again, was successful. I enjoyed it until towards the end where I got to starting with a hobby that I used to love, turned into something that I loathed, and I was dreading it. And guys, there were deadlines, there were sometimes the shipments would get messed up and you have to redo them, and my God, the problems were like endless. It was taking away so much time away from my little boy, away from my family. It just was not what I thought it was cut out to be, and thank God I did not. I got talked out of the idea of having a commercial kitchen put into my basement. That would have been a mistake. So anyway, I digress a little bit. So those are my entrepreneurial little things that I had dabbled in, but I still wasn't fulfilled, right? I was like, what am I going to do? How can I fulfill this? So then I thought franchise, right? This was like around the time of The Blind Side. So how many of you watched drop a comment below. Do you love The Blind Side, right? I would watch that woman and be like, man, is she classy? Man, is she awesome? They're living the life. This rocks, right? Such an awesome lifestyle. And they're like, what, owning however many Taco Bells, KFCs, like it looked pretty darn good to me from outside looking in the movie, that is. And so I got this idea in my head that I got to start a franchise. Now again, different period of my life. I was married, I was financially secure, in a good position financially, and I got the idea that I'm doing this. I want a franchise. I want something to call my own. I want something, hey Robert, hey Ashley, I want something to call my own. I want something to be successful, that I was able to manage, that I was able to do, that I could provide value of some kind. So that's what I got stuck in my head. So in my area where I'm from, there was not, I was looking up, franchises and just noticing things when I would drive around. So I would notice there was this Elements Massage that was nowhere in my area, and I heard of it as a newer franchise of a massage franchise company. And so what did I do? But I hopped on an airplane to Denver, Colorado. I spent 2 nights there and 3 full days in meetings with paperwork, endless paperwork, you guys, going over your net worth, your capital, all this good stuff, right? Talking about return on investment, all the fancy schmancy business terms, royalty fees, yada, 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 right? Got home from that and was really fired up from it, thought it was going to happen, found the location I wanted it to be. They, because they still call the shots, they said, no, not a good location. So then, long story short, the locations that were picked for me to run and to try and make it happen in those spots wasn't really fitting for me, right? I had a little kid at home and didn't really factor in that when you start any business, franchise or regular brick and mortar or whatever it is, if you have to physically be there in a storefront, you better believe that you got to be there every single day for a good year, the good first year, right? You're still in control. You have to make sure everything runs smoothly. You have to do the hiring and the firing. You have to make sure inventory stock. You have to worry about all those things. And when it got time to them selecting other locations that were a little farther from me, I go, yeah, you know what? Not going to happen. Not going to do it. I'm not going to suck away all my time for my little boy who's still a baby. My family just wasn't thinking about it. So then I wasn't totally crossing and nixing the idea of a franchise, because I still loved, again, going back to The Blind Side, I still loved the idea and the concept of it and how the business was already built, right? The logo's already been created. The popularity was already there. All the real hard marketing things, they were figured out, right? The commercials, you don't have to worry about them. The billboards, you don't have to worry about them. It was all marketed for you. So the idea sounded really darn good. So going back to The Blind Side, the 3rd time I said that in this video, I'm thinking, okay, now this is again back when, I was a little bit of a bad eater and fast food was a little bit more frequent in my life, not at all anymore, but, I wasn't so health conscious. And so I'm thinking, all right, my favorite fast food was Taco Bell, which is just like the movie. That's what we should look into, right? So again, went through the whole process, actually went online and started looking to hire some managers, got really excited, really into this idea. And when I was in the mall, my local mall one day, I noticed there were 2 vacant spots in the mall in the food court. One of them was really small, and it used to be, I believe it was a smoothie place. And 10 years ago, maybe 15 years before, it was actually a Taco Bell. So I thought, great, blast from the past, bring some nostalgia back to the mall. This could be it. This is it. I feel it. This has got to be it. Okay? So it didn't happen, and for a few reasons, you guys. So the price wasn't even the reason, right? The price, though, just so you all know, to own a franchise, now there's Yum Brands, there's this brand, there's that brand, okay? To own a Taco Bell, it's anywhere from $175,000 to start up to $1.2 million. That depends, of course, on the retail space that you're going to be in. It depends on a lot of factors, whether you're taking over an existing Taco Bell or you're starting your own. So back then, at least, that's what it was. Those were the numbers. That wasn't the scary part. The scary part was that they tell you that not only are you not going to make a profit, but you're not going to get a return on that investment. Your ROI is not going to be there for like a good, realistically, could be like 7 to 10 years. I think for Taco Bell, it was more closer to like a 5-year range. Might have been sooner. The details are blurry. It's like 6 years ago or something like that for me. But that's scary. When you're going to put that amount of money and you're not going to see that, but not only are you not going to make money, you're not going to even see what you put out back for that many years. And, they go into all the details. Your net worth has to be this amount because they have to protect themselves. It just got a little scary, right? Okay, so Now, Ray, this morning on the training, he actually gave an example of Domino's. So for Domino's, it's a little cheaper, right? It's like, I think, or it's like $250K. And they tell you officially it's going to be 10 years before you see that 250 back. Like, what? That's crazy. That is crazy. Who has that kind of money to just sit around 10 years and be like, oh, great, in 10 years I get to see my money back. And then after that, maybe by year 11, I'll make a little bit of money. Like, that's crazy, right? Anyone else? Drop a comment. Like, crazy, right? So it's not as simple as The Blind Side. It's not as simple as you may think. And so now this leads me to my second point, right? My second point being Shark Tank, okay? In my business, in what I do, unlike Shark Tank, you don't have to worry about getting a trademark attorney. You don't have to worry about supply chain management, human resources and developing, org charts with functions and responsibility and employee hiring and firing. You don't have to worry about the big boy manufacturers, what they're doing, you know, and you don't have to, most importantly, you don't have to give a percent of equity of your equity to find an investor. So today, or I think it was yesterday, my dad actually was sitting with me at dinner, came here for dinner, and says to me, did I hear about the Scrub Daddy? Who uses a Scrub Daddy, right? It's the best. Scrub Daddies are awesome. So the guy, and I could be getting these details wrong because I think he mentioned this to me, but the Scrub Daddy, right? I think it's bringing in, like, it's got like $100 million now. Now, the sad part for me, that's amazing, amazing, amazing. The inventor of the Scrub Daddy, I believe his deal was with Mr. Wonderful. I could be getting this wrong again, so don't quote me. But he had 80% royalty going to Mr. Wonderful. That was the deal. So 20% is what he owns. Now, I don't think he's crying about that. I mean, sometimes you need the help to make your idea come to fruition, and that's awesome. I'm so happy for him. But that is, oh, like that hurts me. It hurts me that his amazing genius idea that has gone on and done so well, so much of his company is owned by somebody else and not him. So that was kind of like, you know, that was a little hard. So what I want to share with you, why these all connect, why they're different, how my journey has led me to where I am now through all those trials and tribulations of finding my, you know, purpose, trying and dabbling into entrepreneurial adventures in the past, and where I am now, right? The reason why I'm in what I'm in is because it's the lowest risk and lowest overhead way for someone to start a business for themselves. And for most people, it does end up being this huge business. And for some other people, it becomes a gateway business. A gateway meaning using this vehicle that I have, that I share with others, using that to leverage what it is and to go on and create the life of their dreams, or to go and attack their dreams. Whether that was open up, you know, a mom and pop shop, whether it is to write a book, whether it is to start open an orphanage, or, you know, whatever it is. This is, if you are somebody who has always had the drive and the desire to work for yourself, or even to just add a small business on the side and help with, hey, it's holiday time, you know, we have residual bills, why not have a residual income? You feel me, right? Holiday time is really expensive, and it's the season of giving, it's a season of love and all those good things, but to live, you know, to me anyway, to live is to give. And what an amazing thing it is to give back to so many other people and have something coming in that you're bringing in that you can then go out and impact so many others. So real quickly, if you haven't caught on, or if you don't know, the business that I'm referring to is within the network marketing industry. Now, before you tune me out and before you already like hop off the broadcast, how many of you, and I will not take any offense to this, I promise, you can put a hand emoji, you can grade a comment, how many of you have experienced somebody in this industry that's been a little bit, shall we say, spammy? Maybe a little hypey, right? A little like, whoa, in your face, like calm down, right? We've all, right? I mean, I have, so I'm not taking offense to it at all. The reason for that, and I want to just explain that to you, the reason that happens, it's to no fault of the entrepreneurs. It's not their fault. If you are watching this video, and let's say you are an employee or you're a business owner, whether you're a nurse, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a construction worker, whether you're a truck driver, whatever you're doing, I'm guessing that it's not, you know, your first time around working. You probably have been in your profession or your business for quite some time. And so what you have to understand is when somebody is doing something different, breaking the norm, going out on their own, joining a business in an industry like ours, which is one of the best industries out there, in my opinion, you have to understand that most of these people, they are doing this for the very first time. They are becoming an entrepreneur for the very first time. They have never done anything like this. So now I'm not speaking for everyone, and I'm not, you know, I'm not making excuses for everyone, but you do have to understand that just a week ago, that person was a soccer mom. It was just a soccer mom. They were just a teacher or a substitute teacher. They were just a nurse. They were just a truck driver. They were just an employee of someone else's. And that was just a week ago. And now a week later, they are stepping into the role as a CEO, and they are like very new at that. So as opposed to somebody who has had years and years of experience, you know, that is probably the reason. Now, what I do, I teach people how to build their businesses the correct way, the non-spammy way, and the way that is, you know, responsible, is ethical, and, you know, does what we are here to do, which is serve other people and help others, right? So those are the differences in my mind between, you know, being an entrepreneur and as opposed to getting a deal on Shark Tank, as opposed to starting a franchise, which holy moly is quite a big, deep, steep in your pocket. And just explaining to you that if you have something inside of you this holiday season, if you want to find ways to give back more, for you to live bigger or give more, if you know, want just an extra stream of income, if you're looking for ways to do that, this is a way to do it passive, build passive income. It is not the only way. Sure, you could go buy a vending machine. You could invest in some stocks. You could get, you know, gumball machines. You can get tons of things. But this right here, what I have and what I offer to, you know, certain people and to what I help my team with is explaining that this is the best way to build the lowest risk, lowest overhead way for somebody to become their own boss and to have that entrepreneurial spirit, light that up and let that get going. Okay, so those are my that's my little story in the beginning. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you know anyone that wants to see this, that this would help, this would shed some new light, open up people's eyes, you know, I would love you to share this. Feel free to tag somebody in it. And again, if you're new, if you're just hopping on here, go back and watch. I'm hopping off, so go back and watch from the beginning. I think you'll find it interesting, especially my beginning story. So mwah, lots of love. Hope you guys are gonna have an amazing holiday season. Thanksgiving next week, what? And happy Wealth Wednesday, and I'll be back real soon. Go ahead and drop your comments. I will get back to all of them later, and I will see you guys real soon. Bye.